Hello to everyone. I'm N. Manchula Devi, working as an English BRT at BRC Krishnagiri in Krishnagiri district. Welcome to all. To this session, there is one quote says, "Practice makes a man perfect." But here I am saying that reading makes a man perfect to learn a language. Before going to my session, I wish to ask a question, that is, what is the fundamental or basic thing to learn a language? Can you? Yes. We need basic skills to learn a language, that is LSRW. What is LSRW? Listening, speaking, reading and writing. Okay. My topic is vocabulary. Vocabulary knowledge is the single most important factor in reading comprehension. Okay, let's see. This session deals with to establish the importance of teaching the meaning of new vocabulary as well as the form, and showing how words are used in context. To share techniques for learning the meaning of new words. To share way of showing the meaning of new structures as well as their form. To help learner think of their own situations and examples to present new structures. Okay, let's see. What is vocabulary? Vocabulary is nothing but it refers to the words we must understand to communicate effectively. In general, vocabulary can be described as oral vocabulary or reading vocabulary. Let's see the oral vocabulary. It refers to the words we use in speaking or recognize in listening. Then reading vocabulary. Reading vocabulary refers to the words we recognize in print only. So it is very most important to use formal and informal vocabulary instructions that engages student cognitive skills and give opportunities to the learners to actually use the words. Teachers should facilitate vocabulary teaching by teaching learners useful words and by teaching strategies to help learners figure out meanings on their own. Okay, here we see the strategies. Here are few vocabulary instruction strategies to use with elementary level, primary level, in primary level. I listed here word detective, word wizard, concept cube and word connect. What these are? In detail we see now. Word detective. The most valuable thing that you can do to increase your students' vocabulary is to encourage them to read. That is called word detective. Then semantic maps. A semantic word map allows students to conceptually explore their knowledge of a new word by mapping it with other related words or phrases similar in meaning to the new word. Then word wizard. Children need to say and hear thousands of words each year to build their reading vocabulary. So, the word wizard activity is an ongoing vocabulary building activity that uses sequenced activities for increasing children's speaking and listening vocabulary. Teachers should engage in vocabulary activities after a story has been read or read. Concept cube. Concept cube is nothing but this is also an activity that requires a little setup which includes various word parts. That is vocabulary, word, antonym, synonym, category. It belongs to characteristics and examples. Students will cut and fold it into a square, labeling each side with the above word parts. Then the last activity is word connect. Vocabulary word connect is an interactive class activity used before, during and after class reading. Word connect is basically a mystery word. Okay, here I am giving activity related to word connect. Let's do and tell me the answer for this puzzle. Can you unscramble these words? Take 2 minutes. Think and then give the answer. Okay, let's see the answers. First one, happy. I listed only 10 words here. The answers are happy, smile, joyful, cherry, merry, emotion, affection, sad, angry, and cry. Here, vocabulary is also very important to reading comprehension. Readers cannot understand what they are reading without knowing what most of the words mean. As children learn to read more advanced text, must learn the meaning of new words that are not part of their oral vocabulary. Here, there are 4 types of vocabulary. Already, we know that to learn a new language, for example, English language, first we have to know the fundamental basic skills, that is called LSRW. Already, we seen that in previous. Here, we dealing that what is listening, what is speaking, what is reading, and what is writing. Here I am dealing with that 4 types of vocabulary, how to teach. Yes. First we see listening vocabulary. So it is the words we need to know to understand what we hear. Okay, now tell me what is the difference between listening and hearing? Is it both are same meaning? It gets, both words are get same meaning? No. Yes. There is a difference between listening and hearing. Yes, let's see. Hearing. Hearing is simply the act of perceiving sound by the ear. If you are not hearing impaired, hearing simply happens. And listening. Listening, however, is something you consciously choose to do. So listening requires concentration so that your brain processes meaning from words and sentences. So this is the difference, the meaning between listening and hearing. Next, speaking vocabulary. The words we use when we speak. Reading vocabulary. The words we need to know to understand what we read. Writing vocabulary. Last is not least. So the last processes to learn a language or to well verse in a language, the last process is writing. So writing vocabulary, the words we use in writing. In assessment of vocabulary in beginning learners or struggling readers, use of an oral measure is very important. What is oral measure? Oral measure is nothing but listening and or speaking vocabulary. The writing measure of vocabulary will confound vocabulary knowledge with reading skills. Okay, let's see the principles of teaching vocabulary. I have listed some points here. The first one is vocabulary should be integrated with subject matter. So while selecting, vocabulary plays a vital role to strengthen the selected topic. So we should be very conscious on selecting vocabulary words. So it should be related and integrated to the subject matter only, not apart from that. Yes. Second one, keep teaching simple and clear. The word should be simple and the meaning should be clear. Then, not complicated explanations. So, we don't give any complicated explanations here. Explain the vocabulary relating with daily lives, which will promote learning easier. So it should be helpful to pre-introduce words before they are encountered in text. Relate the present teaching to past knowledge by showing a pattern. Students' background knowledge should be tapped. Give most attention to words that are already partly known. Given activities should be cooperative and non-threatening. Tell the learners if it is a high frequency word that they should remember. Okay, now tell me what is high frequency word? Otherwise we can say sight words. High frequency is nothing but we can say the sight words. What are the sight words? We have prepositions, adverbs, verbs, all these parts of speech. For example, is, was, that, might, could, should, after, on, into, behind, over. Often occurring words called high frequency words. Often repeated words are called sight words. Yes. Both are same. High frequency words and sight words are both are same. Okay, next, students to become independent learners. After all these, definitely the student will become independent learners. They learn by their experience, as I told you, learning vocab through daily lives. Okay, then we pass on to the next topic, techniques, how we can handle that vocabulary among the student learner side. Okay, techniques for teaching vocabulary. First, say the word clearly and write it on the board. Say the word. Take the word, then select the word first and say the word, then you write it on the board, that word. So say the word clearly, so the pronunciation must very clear, then write it on the board. Get the class to repeat the word in chorus. Yes, we have to allow the students to repeat the words again and again. Then only they can able to pronounce the word in proper way. They can have the sounds in their ear, in their mind. Then easily the children will learn the sounds through the speaking. The children learn the sounds. So here the practice is very important one. to learn words, to proper pronunciation. So get the class to repeat the word in chorus. Then translate the word or ask students to translate in their mother tongue if the learners need. Otherwise, for example, I'll take the word apple. So every child can understand what is that object or what is that really. Apple means apple. So here need not to translate the word in their mother tongue. Yes, first say and write and repeat and translate. Then draw a picture to show what the word means. You can draw the picture on the board. Then show the picture to understand the meaning. If it is possible, we have lots of sources. We can pick out some pictures related to the words and we can show the picture. So this is the thing we are dealing with. They were dealing that word with this picture. Yes, you can show the picture to understand the meaning of the word. For example, now I am taking a word grew. What is grew? A group of trees. It means a group of trees. If it is possible, we can take that picture, grew picture. For example, coconut grew. A group of trees, group of coconut trees. So I can able to show the picture if it is possible. Yes. Then give an English example. So here already I gave that what is grew. The word is grew. So the mere English example or meaning. Ask questions using the new word. Say an opposite of the word. So here happy and the opposite word of happy is sad. Use visual aids. TLM. Here we can use realia, objects, pictures, internet resources, which words we deal with. Okay, then, how can we improve vocabulary among student side? How can we improve vocabulary? Use new words day-to-day life like daily magazines, periodicals, newspapers, etc., etc. Use a word immediately after you learn it. Read every day. Use dictionary. To cultivate the habit of utilizing dictionary to the students by the teacher during teaching learning process. So before using the dictionary, we have to give the instructions. How to use that dictionary? How can we search the words in the dictionary? Then, use a thesaurus. Students must keep a vocabulary notebook to write down new or unfamiliar words. Teach how to use a dictionary to look up the meaning of the word. Teach to use a thesaurus to locate a synonym or antonym for the word. It helps to expand students' vocabulary by giving them word choice options. Okay, let's see some games here. How to improve students' vocabulary. I listed some activities here, games here. Let me see one by one. First activity is get to knowing your activity. Already all the teachers, you are very familiar with this activity because I think most of the teachers you attended British Council training. In that British Council training, they given this activity to introduce ourselves, to introduce each and one, each other. So get to know you, knowing your activity and using adjectives, verb, adverbs, etc. For example, I'm going to give one example for this first activity. I am Manchula Devi. Now I am adding one adjective before my name. Marvelous Manchula Devi. So like you can use this activity to your learner. Second activity. Someone says, here I am not mentioning any names. For example, this activity is someone says the teacher can use his or her name. For example, here Manju says. Here in this activity you can use action words. For example, Manju says stand up. So all the children should stand up. Then Manju says sit down. So all the learners should sit down. And then Manju says run, walk, jump, read, blink your eyes, tap your feet, snap your fingers. Like that you can continue to increase their vocabulary sense. Yes. The third activity, word web. Word web is nothing but it is a collection of words called word web. You can give this to practice. Word grid. Then back to the board. This activity also most of the teachers known very well. Hot seat. You can give a topic and allow the learner to talk about the topic. Who am I? Then puppetry. Using puppetry, you can create a story or narrate a story. Through the stories, the students can able to learn lots of words through that. Narrating a story and reading a story. And the final activity is bingo. You can engage any activity and finally who finished first, that group has to say bingo. So this is the thing. Let's see some words from the lesson. The coconut grew. I took only 4 words from that lesson. The first word is grew. Grew means a small group of trees. In Tamil, if it is needed, you can use the mother tongue. So, here grew means thopu. You can give an example using in a sentence, that word used in a sentence. For example, Inia lived in a coconut grove. Inia lived in a coconut grove. There were grove of trees near the pond. There were grove of trees near the pond. The second word, lake. The second word, lake. A large area of water surrounded by the land. Eri. In Tamil, Eri. Example sentences are, girls were swimming in the lake. Girls were swimming in the lake. She touched the water of the lake. She touched the water of the lake. The third word, empty. Containing nothing, that is called empty. Vetridam. She put down her empty cup. She put down her empty cup. It was an empty bottle. It was an empty bottle. The next word is basket. A container used to hold or carry things. Kudai. In Tamil, kudai. So example sentences are, I always used basket for shopping. I always used basket for shopping. She had a basket full of apples. She had a basket full of apples. Climb. To go up. To go up. ஏறு. மரத்தில் ஏறு. So example is Raju climbed into the car. Raju climbed into the car. He returned and climbed the stairs. He returned and climbed the stairs. The last word is sprout. The last word is sprout. Spring up to grow. Spring up to grow. Mulai kattiya dhaniyam. Mulai. Here the meaning is mulai. We used to say the sprouts is mulai kattiya dhaniyangal. Mulai kattiya dhaniyam. Sprout grinds are good for health. Sprout grinds are good for health. The seeds are sprouting. The seeds are sprouting. Okay. Now, we have a quick recalling now. So, today in this session we dealt with what is vocabulary, what are the importance of vocabulary, how many types of vocabulary, what are the skills we need to develop a language, and principles of teaching vocabulary, then techniques of teaching vocabulary, then how can we improve vocabulary among the students. Finally, vocabulary plays a vital role for communication. So give more activities for your children to enrich their vocabulary in daily basis. So teachers, you have to use more words and it could be able to understand by the students. Word stock, here word stock is nothing but vocabulary, will give them confidence to communicate in English effectively. To whom? The learners. So word stock will give the students, the learners confidence to communicate in English effectively. So there is one proverb. The more words you know, the more clearly and powerfully you will think, and the more ideas you will invite into your mind. So I think this session could be useful for you and make use of it in a productive way. Thank you. Thank you, friends. Here in this activity, the children can able to memorize the words, memorize the sentences. Through this activity, it could be very easy to develop vocabulary sense among the student side. So this is one kind of activity. Okay, here let's see one more activity, that is back to the board. Okay, before conducting that activity, I have to give instructions what to do and how to do that activity. So the teacher must clear with their instructions. While giving instruction, so instruction should be clear. Okay, first instruction is the class has to split into 2 teams. So the 2 teams has to nominate 2 leaders or representatives for that team. Then the teacher has to say, the teacher will write one word on the board. So the nominee, that means the leader should be turned back. The 2 person has to face the audience and the team members only explain the words. For example, Smile. The word is smile. The teacher will write it, the word smile on the board. The team members, maybe they act or they can give the description of the word, mere description of the word, not using the board word. For example, smile. They can show their face as a smile. Okay, the leader has to find out the word. Then if the leader tells correct, the team will get 1 mark. Like that, you have to play this game back to the board. Hot seat also similar with that activity, back to the board activity. Here we can give more instruction, constricting instruction, that is, they have to give gestures only. In a hot seat, they have to give gestures only. They don't give any descriptions of the word. Okay, the another one activity is vanishing poem. What is the vanishing poem? So here the teacher should take only 3 or 4 sentences of a poem. Then the teacher has to write it on the board. Allow the students to read aloud 1 or 2 times. Then they have to recollect all the words. After that, the teacher will wipe 1 word on the board in the poem. After that, the teacher will ask the word, what is that? The student must say the word. After saying that word, the teacher will again swipe 1 or 2 words. So, finally, the teacher will wipe 1 sentence. The students, the learner should recall the words, the sentence, and finally, the teacher will wipe all the sentences, all the poem. The children should remember the words and say the poem.